Well, hello. Today I want to do a review on this guitar here. This is a Mexican Fender Stratocaster, as also known as the MIM, made in Mexico, instead of an MIA, made in America. And this is a 2003 model, and it's got a maple neck, I believe ash wood. The electronics, not so bad. I mean, for a stock guitar, I know a lot of folks actually change their electronics on these. I played a lot of guitars, and I had a Squier Bullet, and I played a lot of Squiers over the years, and I also played a couple of American Strats. And I'll be honest with you, I really prefer the maple necks, maple neck Strats over anything else. And usually the more economical Squier Strats don't necessarily have the maple neck. And maybe that's one reason why I really like this. This really plays well. I know I'm not hooked up. I'm out here outside. You can't hear it. But one of the most important things is that whenever you play a guitar, to buy a guitar, you really need to find. I always play it without an amplifier at first, because that way I kind of get the true sound of feeling where it's at. And as you probably know on the Stratocaster, inside here where the whammy bar is at, in this cavity back here, there's this big metal piece in there, and that's really gives you the tone for the Stratocaster on this thing. And the ones made in Mexico, they're not made out of the solid metal that the American ones are, and you can replace that, I'm sure. However, the tone on this thing, now when I got this guitar, the action was a little bit higher up here for the whammy bar, so I had to go back in the crawl and tighten up a little bit and got it where it's flush. Honestly, I don't use the whammy bar hardly at all. I could probably do like Eric Clapton did and put that hunk of wood in the back there where it's not going to, we can't use the whammy bar at all. And I'll tell you, this thing plays in tune. The intonation's good on it. The action's good. It's not too low. It's not too high. It's kind of a little bit in the middle, and I'm sure I could tweak it a little bit more if I wanted to. And these go for new, a 2008, 2009 model. Goes for about 400 range. And I tell you, if you price the American Strats, I mean, they can go up to thousands. I mean, $1,200, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 guitar. And I tell you, if you're on a budget, $400 for a solid guitar is really not a bad way to go. It really is. It's a good solid guitar. I wouldn't feel bad playing this on a real gig. Open mics, no problem at all. I mean, and if you just want to rock out at home. I put some 10 strings on here. These are some new strings, and it plays great. It's a great feeling guitar, and it's also kind of cool to have the the Fender logo on your headstock, instead of just the Squier one. And I tell you right now, I don't know why Fender is necessarily doing this, but they're putting out these Starcasters, which are just, in my humble opinion, a really crummy guitar. You can pick them up for like $100. I guess it was like amp and kind of guitar kit for $150, $200, and that guitar is just really thumbs down in comparison to this one here. Some of the lower end Squier Strats, the Bullets and so forth, some of the higher end Squier Strats are actually fine, but for a little bit more, you can get this Mexican Fender Stratocaster. And from what I'm told, one reason why the cost is lower, one is they use a little bit cheaper materials for electronics on here, but basically the wood and neck are really similar to the American model. But since they're in Mexico, I guess they don't have the same environmental laws as they got here in the States. So when they paint things, they don't have to. It's more cheaper to paint things, and then whatever chemicals they put on these guitars, lacquers and so forth. And of course, I'm sure that it's cheaper to have employees down in Mexico as well. So that's one reason why this guitar probably would be $600-800 guitar here in the States, and by being out in Mexico is probably half the cost, something like that. This is not a bad guitar at all. I recommend it. If you can't afford American Strat, pick up one of these Mexican Stratocasters. They're really good. I played a couple of the Mexican Telecasters as well. They're good guitars also. Man, just go out there and rock and roll. Rock and roll.